Rachel here with Big TV after our 1-0 loss to Tigres home at Geodis Park. We're going to do our player ratings, and I'm going to let you start with the Brian Schwacke.
The Brian Schwacke, good game, good performance, probably one of the standout players in the team. Distribution a little bit off with the wet ball at times, but other than that, pretty solid. A little bit gutted about that, given I read in the Tennessean about how he went and practiced distribution every single day. I feel like maybe a little bit of pressure on that article, perhaps. A little creeping in, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm going to give him a 7, which is going to be high for today's scoring, I think. I don't think the team played bad, to be fair. But actually 8. Going to give him an 8. Some good saves at the end of the game. Kept it at 1-0.
Yeah, he did do some great saves. It could have been 2 or 3-0, to be honest.
Yeah.
Based on some of the pressure that they were putting on the attack. So he did do well in that regard, yes.
Yeah, so that's he's going to get an 8 from me. Next.
Awesome. I'm going to go into Andy Nahar. I think he started relatively well, but I think there was this common feature amongst the team today of holding on to the ball for too long. I felt like Tigres pushed really hard. Their front players were coming back to defend and then pushing the defence backwards a lot, so making it very, very hard for Nashville to come and do anything. And I think Andy Nahar was able to distribute the ball down their side, but I think at times we really needed to play it off and do something different, to be honest. So he didn't play badly, but he didn't do anything extraordinary, I think, so I'm going to give him a 6.
Harsh.
It's been a bad day.
Jason Palacios, I don't think he was bad. I honestly don't think the team played badly today. I think that Tigres had their tactics absolutely nailed on, and they just made us look
bad.
We didn't look bad. It was just certain moments. So I only give Palacios a 7. This is going to be such a lopsided ratings by the end of this, because I saw something that you're not seeing, I guess. But I think they were just good. I just think they were good. I think we played fine, but just they tactically know what to do. So Palacios for me, a few missed balls, same as Schwacke, exactly the same thing. I think he was good though in points. He was often against Correa and their right wingers generally, and I think he managed to hold them back, make it difficult for them. Yeah, he gets a 7.
Okay, we'll move on. Willaji, I think he started the game relatively well. I think usually him and Palacios communicate incredibly well. They distribute the ball to either side of the field. I was really frustrated, I think you were as well today, that they played so much on the right-hand side. Yeah. And they almost played like we had quarter of a pitch of width rather than a whole pitch, which meant that we were constantly just stuck and not able to get anywhere. And I don't think Willaji helped that situation, if I'm completely honest. I think he usually is one of those players that will take the ball, and when it gets to him, he'll like start the speedy motion of some sort of attack, and I didn't feel that happened at all today. And I think him and Palacios made some awful errors trying to distribute the ball and then it missing every single player and going off the pitch.
I think he slipped early. He's done this a few games. He slipped early and he loses his confidence a bit. Yeah. Then we see what he can do at the end of the game, where he beats 3 players, then ends up in a big tackle. But at least he's driving it forward. The thing we have is 2 defenders, Nahar and Willaji, that can move the ball forward really well themselves, and Baker Whiting to some degree. But he slipped in the first time he came to do it and then just didn't do it for the rest of the game. Yeah. What are you going to give him?
Well, what did you give Palacios?
I gave him a 7.
Okay, well then I've got to give him a 7 at minimum, because I think he played better than Palacios. We'll go with the 7. Okay.
That was before you said that they both played awful.
Well, I wouldn't have given Palacios a 7, but we'll move on.
Okay. Reed Baker Whiting. He's my man of the match. Reed Baker Whiting is my man of the match personally. He's going to get a 9 for me. I don't think he did anything wrong. I didn't see him make a mistake. I thought he wanted it. I thought he was in for the challenges. I thought every time he got the ball, he managed to do something with it and beat a man. He was the one who made the cross for the goal that was disallowed. And that was honestly just Muir not passing the ball to him early enough, I think. He was the centre of all the crosses that were good in the game, that made something happen potentially, that looked like they were going to be dangerous. He was doing right foot crosses, left foot crosses. He was playing the ball inside. He was up and down that wing with absolute pace, and he spent the most of the first half just stood there with his arms open going, why haven't you passed me the ball? Because he had so much space, and we do have so much space on our left-hand side. That's where how Lovitz plays. That's how he plays in games, and we just decided not to use them. So
I'll agree with that. I think he played incredibly well, and he needed more of the ball, and we should drive down the left a little harder. Okay, next is Eddie. Unfortunately, Eddie didn't last very long, probably 10, 15 minutes before he went off with an injury. So yeah, we're gonna kind of we didn't really see enough of him in order to do that. So next was Yazbek.
Yeah.
I think Yazbek played well. I think he still did what he usually does in that area of the field. He controls the central kind of midfield. He passes and distributes the ball well between the defense and forward. He pushes. He kind of gets into space. So I like that. I think he didn't have the space that he usually has, which maybe made him look like he didn't quite have it like 100%. But I don't think that was his fault. So I'll give him the leniency that it was Tigres playing incredibly well. So I would probably give him a 7. I think.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. Corcoran, I'm probably going to give a 6. Didn't really come to fruition, anything that he tried. There were a couple of balls that he played. Man, the long shot when you're not in the right position is just like the worst thing you can do. It was like watching FIFA, where you just I'll just smash the B button or whatever and see, and he just did it at the wrong time. You know, you get those counter attacks, and you just like watching FIFA. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, with just too many men in front of him, it's just going to be bounce off and go, and they've got an opportunity to counter. He's tight with the ball, but even sometimes his touches weren't as strong as they were normally. He's had a lovely touch he does on the right foot, which is good to watch. It's always very calm, but a bit too measured. We needed a bit more attack and a bit more ball forward, and we didn't have that. So yeah, he gets a 6 from me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Madrigal?
Wheel.
Oh yeah, Wheel. I think we had a similar situation with Reed Baker-Whiting, where actually he played, when he had the ball, he made some really smart choices. He passed the ball on quickly. He didn't keep it for too long. He knew that Tigres players were going to be on him. So I think he dealt with that relatively well. He wasn't selfish with it. He just passed it on really nicely. But unfortunately, because the ball wasn't down the left-hand side very much, he didn't get as much of the ball as I think it would have been nice to see him have. So I'm going to give him, I think I'd lean towards giving him an 8, because I actually think that he played incredibly well. I just wish that he had more of the ball this time.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple of things that maybe went wrong a little bit. 8's probably a little strong for me, but it's your rating. I'd give him maybe 1 less than that, just because there are a few times where maybe he didn't quite manage to make the last pass. That offside goal, for instance, if you've made that just a tiny bit earlier, that's our first goal, and the game's completely different when that happens. And I've got to say, our fans completely lost the energy as soon as that one goal was called offside. I mean, I saw it straight away, and I was saying to everyone else around us, it's offside. And as soon as that, the stadium was rocking, and we lost it at that point. So, but anyway, we'll talk about that later.
It's a difficult one. I only gave him 8 because I think he's played better than everyone else that we've given a 7. So just been playing around with those ratings today.
All right. Yeah, he did look good at times, especially in the first few minutes. Really went for it. But yeah, we had the life sucked out of us a bit. Shall I go for Espinosa? Man, tough one. That little shot that he kept doing in the corner, I don't know what he was at. He was trying to do that sort of Orlando shot in the hope that it might go in, and I think their keeper's too good for that. He's a bit eccentric. Don't like him. He spends his whole... If you watch their highlights or watch their games back, he spends the whole time rolling around on the ground pretending he's injured to waste time. And he did
This is the keeper, not Espinosa.
Yeah, he did that today. So Espinosa, for me, I'm going to give him a 6.
Yeah.
Lots of sideways passing, lots of coming back, not really much invention. We had one counter-attack that he ran down nicely, but gets caught, doesn't really finish with it. Crosses were right into the box, but no great delivery from corners. Yeah, he gets a 6 from me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, unfortunately, we didn't have that pressure in the attack. And I know that we didn't have Sam today because of a back injury, but I think you expect more from those DPs, from those players.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll do Madrigal. I expect a lot more from him than we're seeing, if I'm completely honest. I don't think he added much today. He drove down the left-hand side. Did he do a couple of crosses in?
No, he was.
No, he didn't. He was just on the end of it, wasn't he? But he wasn't on the end of it, and that was the issue. We had a couple of crosses coming in. We had a couple of really nice ones come in, I think, from the left-hand side.
Yeah, Espinosa in the half.
Yeah, and then Espinosa, out of 80% of them didn't get anywhere, but the ones that did get into some sort of P-spot area, just he couldn't get his head on them, and he just didn't. He wasn't threatening, unfortunately.
He actually mistimed them half the time.
Yeah.
So a couple of them he got ahead of the ball, which is just sort of cardinal sin. You're never going to be any use ahead of the ball. You're better to be late, you know. So
5.
Yeah, I'd agree. I might even give him less. I don't think he actually did anything today.
Yeah. We both said that he should have gone off way earlier than he did, unfortunately.
I mean, if you put Pasillas on the end of those headers, you're at least going to get something on target or a spill or something. We saw that in the Ottawa game. Gives Pasillas an opportunity to header, and he'll do something with it at least. Whether it spills and goes to another player to finish, whatever. Yeah, frustrating.
Okay, Hanny?
Yeah, completely marked out of the game.
Yeah.
And didn't know what to do with it. It was a disappointing thing. He didn't know how to deal with it. He was going over to BJ every 2 seconds, asking him, what should I do? How do I get out of this? Their number 5 had him on lock, just completely locked down. They played the game really smart and just took him out of the game. He's our threat, and we can't play without him, it turns out. I don't know why any MLS team hasn't done that to us already this year, because it just stops us dead in our tracks. Yeah, unbelievable that no coach in MLS has worked that out yet. So I'm going to give him a 5, because he's a top quality player and he can't work out how to get out of a man-to-man marking press, do something different. Even if you appear in a different area of the pitch, what would Messi do? He'd disappear and turn up somewhere else, and he didn't do that, and he just, frustrating to watch, and frustrating to watch him having to go to BJ every 2 seconds to try and help him find an answer. And for an experienced captain, you think he should know that, but he's a great player. He's always been great. He's always great for us, and just today, had his number.
Yeah, I think he just had a bad game. Like you said, from the outset, they had one man just completely on top of him. He didn't know what to do with it, and he got frustrated by it. He let his emotions get away with him a little bit, I think, which is understandable. Like, I can imagine how frustrating that is, but I think at those points you have to be selfless, and you have to say, okay, what's the best thing for the team? And I think at that point it would have been to, like you said with Messi, is to get out of the way. If that player's going to man mark you, then let him man mark you in the corner of the pitch where you're not actually very useful, and then leave that kind of middle open for somebody else to come through, like a Kassem, like an Espinoza, maybe around, like a Corcoran, like a Yazbek. So there we go. Okay, so we move on to the substitute. So we already talked about Corcoran because he came on for Eddie with that injury. Who came on first? We had Levitz come on later, but we had
We'll go off for Kassem.
For Kassem, yeah. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, Kassem was fine. He looked more inventive, looked more exciting, and had some invention about him. There were just times where the ball was able to be passed across the whole midfield, and I just didn't know quite how we ended up in that situation, to be honest with you. Just lost. Everyone vacated the midfield entirely. And it could be, I can see, they just had our number tactically. They just knew what, because there's so much movement in there. Kassem didn't do much. He looked good at times. There were some good moments, good running with the ball, maybe a tackle or two, but nothing. I can't see anything that I can think. I mean, he had a shot, I think. Nothing that I can think of in the final third that made a difference, so get to 6.
Okie doke. Then we had Levitz come on.
Yeah.
I actually quite liked that substitute and that change. I think Dan gave some stability there. We were losing it in defence towards the end. I think everyone was getting hot-headed and frustrated, and Tigres just kept pushing and making it really, really difficult for us to move forward to even attempt to get a goal back. And I think from the defensive perspective, I actually quite liked to see Levitz there and felt, okay, he's bringing something. He was driving down the side, down the left-hand side, and really trying to give momentum, and maybe because he had fresh legs and he had kind of that, he was kind of more calm because he hadn't been playing the rest of the game. So I'd probably give him a 7. I think I quite enjoyed it this evening to see him play that way.
Yeah, he made a good pass or two as well to unlock break their press. So yeah, he was probably one of their best performances we saw tonight from the substitutes. That is even Pasillas. Didn't get time to do much. 6.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, maybe you should get less than that, because Levitz at least showed himself in those few minutes. But I mean, we didn't give him a cross to head. we were crossing the ball in all day as if Sam Surridge was on the field. Pasillas is probably as close as we're going to get to Sam Surridge tonight, and once he's come on, we don't get a chance to do that. So.
All right, let's move on to the referees. I thought it was abysmal. I'll be honest. I umpire in a different sport, and so I'm allowed to be harsh towards the referee. And I just thought it was so obvious. There were even sideline balls given to the wrong team on both accounts, actually. But there were so many.
Throw-ins.
Yeah, I do mean a throw-in. I'm talking about the other sport. But in terms of throw-ins, they were given the wrong way. Corners were given when they should have been kind of goal kicks given when there should have been corners. There were so many petty little kind of trip ups and, I've slipped on the water because it's been raining and I'm going to pretend that someone's whacked me, and then he's given it. He should have given yellow cards way earlier to stop some of these issues from happening in the first place. I could go on, but is there anything else you'd like to say?
Nothing that I can say on here without the video being sort of
censored.
Yeah, something like that.
Fair enough. I'm giving him a 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably generous, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think fans on both sides were completely confused by what was going on. The only thing I will give him a point for, things you can get a point for, giving the offside when it was clearly offside, not making everyone run back and get injured and then find out, oh yeah, it's offside, by the way. And actually, that's about it. So probably gets a 1 from me. But yeah, I mean,
I'm the harsh one.
Should have got his yellow card out way sooner.
Yeah, he should.
And just got control of the game. Instead, he'd rather referee with a million stoppages and give advantages in completely the wrong ways. Like advantages for both teams that didn't go anywhere and was not an advantage at all. The ball was going backwards, or the players had to make a terrible pass just because they'd been fouled. And he gives 5 minutes of added time at the end, despite the fact that we literally just stood for 3 minutes while the goalkeeper was rolling on the floor pretending he was injured. Yeah, a number of times just got done by the referee, I think, in places. And I mean, Tigres tactically beat us. I'm not saying it was the referee's fault that we lost, but just completely made the game completely unenjoyable by stopping it constantly with these little tiny fouls of just gentle brushes, pushes, side, shoulder barges that just soft is the answer to the referee.
Cool. All right, fans.
Can I do BJ instead?
I'll do fans. I mean, we weren't great. I'll be honest, and we are fans, so I think we're allowed to say it. We started off, like Tyler said, with a lot of energy, and then when that goal was called, not a goal, obviously, it was offside, there was no issue. That was correct decision by the referees, one of the only ones. It went a bit dead. I think we all struggled with that, but then it was really hard, and I'll admit I was one of them. It was very hard to get behind the team because I felt like we weren't playing as well as we could play. But yeah, we just lost it. I mean, Tigres were probably louder than us in there.
That was
That was frustrating.
That drove me mad. The Tigres fans that were spread around the ground could be louder than we were. Yeah, frustrating. And I think it wasn't even a cold, windy night in Stoke. It's a cold, windy night in Tennessee, and it's
not even cold.
It's like 80 degrees or something. It's pretty warm, and we couldn't keep the energy up. So yeah, frustrating. I don't want to, fans always get good points for turning up. The fans that were here, big credit for showing up, but it just seemed like everyone got a bit tired. It had been too long. The rain delays took the wind out of our sails, and yeah, as soon as that offside goal was called, it was absolute fiesta in there. Big party, big energy vibes. Yeah. It just took our wind out of our sails. Just need to keep that energy up a little bit, and even supporters sections trying the best. But
it's difficult as well because I think we're not used to Nashville losing, especially at home, and so I think it's very easy. And I think that's the difficulty when your team is winning all the time. You're like, yeah, this is amazing and this is great and we can party all night. And then when you turn around, you go, oh my goodness, they actually might lose. It's hard to come around from that. But, like you said, we turned up. There was still, a lot of people that were here in the supporter section on a Tuesday night. We waited for the hour delay. We did all those things. That was really cool. So I'm going to give us a 6, though. I think we're so good. Like, Nashville fans are awesome. Nashville fans turn up. And tonight we just didn't. So
yeah. I enjoyed the people that we were sitting around. Actually, there was some good critical thought going on about the game, which I actually enjoyed the people we were sat around. But yeah, the energy was kind of died out of us a little bit.
It's okay. We got this. We just move on to the next one. It will be great. We'll be back up in 10s. Let's move on to BJ.
Man, BJ gets a 5 today. I think he's done what he can or what he predicts, but I think he's shown that he doesn't trust some of the members of the squad today, to be honest with you. I think he showed. I mean, Eddie coming out early, maybe that changes it. Maybe the energy there would be good against their press. He kind of fought energy with energy. Corcoran's very silky and smooth, but maybe doesn't have that kind of aggression and energy that we could have probably done with. To be honest with you, though, I could have seen this end up in a fist fight with Eddie on the field. So, would have been a crazy one. Yeah, he gets a 5 from me. Got to change it though. Yeah. I mean, maybe he's thinking, it's over 2 legs. Does that matter so much? But I think you've got to try and get at least another goal at home to try and level that, and at least go in there knowing you only have to score once. I mean, we do only have to score once. That's true. We still do only have to score once to level it with the away goals. But yeah, frustrating. If it's not working, just change it. Madrigal was not working for a long time, and we didn't make the sub. He clearly doesn't trust Pasillas that much. I think Pasillas doesn't have enough game time to be able to get integrated. He looked good in the Ottawa game. Of course, they're way lower level of opposition, but he looked like he could flow and fit. And I think since that, we've actually changed to being much more structured and less, I'll say, flowful. It's mellifluous. We don't flow with energy and have that interchange going on. There's not as much synergy and other long words that have French origin to give us some dynamism in the front line, and he doesn't trust them, evidently.
I also don't think that he responded to what was happening on the pitch. It felt like he knew what changes he was going to make and at what times he was going to make them, and then they score a goal, we don't do anything. Then we get completely battered with, people falling over and then pushing and getting angry, and there's almost a fist fight and all these sorts of things. And I think there were multiple occasions in the second half, early in the second half, where we really could have benefited from making even just one substitute to flip the game and to give him an opportunity to push on, and nothing happened. And we just sat in that for 15 minutes, and we didn't have the time to sit in it because we were behind.
Yeah, no. Changes just didn't happen when they needed to. I think that I'd even question the setup of the team. I don't think he's looked at the Tigres weak points strongly enough. You see it start the second half a little bit. We're going down the left hand side a bit more. I mean, their right back isn't a right back. He plays at right wing or in the midfield. So that's something. Their left back's from Division 2 in Mexico. Worrying decision for their fans, and he made him look good. To be honest with you, just good performance for him. To be fair to the lad, Espinoza and Nahar,
I agree.
He had them. So yeah, it's what it is. It's a 5 for me. We could have done more faster, but maybe that squad depth is only squad depth to some degree, and actually there's definitely players maybe in training that are showing that they are competing at a certain level and are matching it, and some players that aren't. And I mean, a lot of those players on the bench today are out at Huntsville week on week, so maybe they might be in the Nashville squad in quotation marks, but they're not really recognised as strong enough yet to make it in that first team. So sort of in a first and a half team.
All right, well, those were our player ratings. Let us know in the comments if you agree, disagree, or otherwise. And if you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe to Big TV, and we'll see you in the next one.